Thirdly, what are the reactions? Yes, a lot of Nigerians are saying, yeah, we're in support of this. We must read Islamists and terrorists and all of that, Islamic terrorist groups and all of that. But Sheikh Gumi has also put out a statement this morning saying that it's time for Nigeria to halt the cooperation with the Americans. And I'm asking, for what? Is this what we want? But he put a caveat at the start of his statement by saying, yes, terrorists should be killed, but it should not be done by terrorists. So I'm looking at it should not be done by unholy hands. So I'm wondering, because I had to go, I first saw it being reported on Daily Post, then I had to go to his page on Facebook to be able to see the full statement.
The same United States now gave us conditions. They said Nigeria was abusing human rights under the Lee Act and all of that. We ended up going to the International Criminal Court to defend Nigeria. I think it was Adoke, Mohamed Bello Adoke, then Attorney General, who had to go there to say, no, this is not true. But even then, we were not allowed by the United States to use equipment that we had bought. Now we went to Israel. I'm not telling stories. This is not from Google. I was in the room. We were in the office of this same Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. From his office, we went to his conference room, which is smaller than this studio, by the way. So that's an aside. And he said, look, I will give you arms and ammunition to fight Boko Haram. But the same US blocked Israel from giving us arms and ammunition. So I think the interesting thing now is that today, with the Tinubu administration, Nigeria is now collaborating with the United States. The same United States is now coming here to come and use the same equipment they said we could not use. So that is the subtext of it.
It's a story, Rufai, is what happened in the middle of the night. Airstrike, US airstrike in Sokoto state. This is following, and we know the timeline because we follow the story. Starting off from that infamous tweet and then followed up by the speech by President Donald Trump to come with guns a-blazing if the government doesn't fix the issue of Christian persecution, genocide in some quarters. But what's your take on this? This is said to be a fight against ISIS, precision strike yesterday in Sokoto state.
Okay. So we don't know a lot of details. As a military buff myself, I like to get brass tacks. But from that picture, number one fact is Trump said he was going to do it coming guns a-blazing, and this is guns a-blazing. I don't agree with him on many things, but he said he was going to do this, and he did it. Probably that's why he has a lot of following among Nigerians. I don't know the architecture of the strike. I can see a warship there. And AFRICOM released a message saying that they did carry out the strike. So maybe it was at one of the waters close to us where America have their warship. That was where that went out. So when they say airstrike, was it a combination of the strikes from the warship and actually you have planes hovering in the air? I do not know. Or were there missiles in there? I mean, were they drones in there? I do not know the architecture of the strike. So what the only Defense Department in America has declassified for us is that picture of one of the missiles coming out. What kind of missiles used? Some have said Tomahawk. I do not know, so I do not have details on that. A lot of details not released. The Nigerian authority has also come out to say yes, that they provided intelligence as regards that. It is not today, if you check historically, that Nigeria and America has always worked hand in hand as regards raids and attack on Islamists or terrorists, all right? Islamic terrorist groups.
Yeah.
If you remember, the one that happened when an American was kidnapped around Niger, that American actually was brought into Katsina, and it was from Katsina that they rescued. I mean, American Marine Forces, they even put boots on the ground. Nigeria also provided intelligence. So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said it provided intelligence. That strike has happened. We've not been able to weigh what has happened. Maybe when we get to people in Sokoto, but they said the missiles that dropped around villages around Sokoto, we'll be able to weigh that. What's the casualty level? Have we been able to do a reconnaissance to be able to ascertain, okay, how many bandits was killed? What hideout was destroyed? We have not gotten pictures on the reconnaissance. Maybe pictures will come out in the coming days. Thirdly, what are the reactions? Yes, a lot of Nigerians are saying, yeah, we're in support of this. We must read Islamists and terrorists and all of that, Islamic terrorist groups and all of that. But Sheikh Gumi has also put out a statement this morning saying that it's time for Nigeria to halt the cooperation with the Americans. And I'm asking, for what? Is this what we want? But he put a caveat at the start of his statement by saying, yes, terrorists should be killed, but it should not be done by terrorists. So I'm looking at it should not be done by unholy hands. So I'm wondering, because I had to go, I first saw it being reported on Daily Post, then I had to go to his page on Facebook to be able to see the full statement. Then I'm looking at and I'm wondering, I'm like, this is not what we want, the end to the killings and bandits. And you see, I also heard the Al Jazeera reporter saying today that they're trying to distinguish and say, if there was an airstrike, why should it be in Sokoto? That it should be in Maiduguri, that there's a difference between ISWAP and bandits. No, with due respect, they all do the same thing. They all kill, they maim, they destroy. They are all terrorists, like the federal government has said. So if we can get to their hideout and kill them all, that's just it. What we want is in peace, or they surrender. That's just it. So Trump saying that this is the beginning of many more strikes to come. Obviously, yes. I know in the coming days, the next thing will be the collateral damage. So those that are against the strike, that's going to be the line. They will push the line of collateral damage. And we've seen this play out too many times. Yes, collateral damage, if they can minimize it, that would be great. But we've seen this play out too many times against Hejreka, when they started bombarding, these terrorists. And we saw what's it called? In fact, we have started seeing the first line from the likes of the Gumis of this world. They are going to be seeing some multiple lines. The second line, they are going to push a national sovereignty. But anyway, the Nigerian government has said that they are doing it in partnership with the American government. But you see a lot of those hawks come and push the case of national sovereignty.
All right.
Then you see a lot of these hawks also come and push the propaganda that then they're going to push the the regional propaganda. Oh, they are killing us. Why is it that it's around here that America is doing all of this and all of that? So you're going to see those reactions in the coming days. But most importantly, we want to end insecurity and want to end this genocide. That's just it.
Dr. Latif, before we come to you, let's speak to our reporter who's on ground to give us some more updates as to what's happening there. Well, for on the ground report, we have a reporter, like I mentioned. We're joined live on the line from Sokoto by correspondent Suleiman Nasir. Good morning, Suleiman.
Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I'd like you to share with us, it's just about 8 hours following that precision strike by the US in a joint action with the Nigerian side of things. But I want you to tell us, have you gotten any information with regards to numbers? And then there are feelers that there's a bit of apprehension amongst the civilians or community members living in the area based on these airstrikes. Can you share with us some of the details of the updates since that airstrike at midnight yesterday?
Yes, like I said earlier, up till now, the government is here to talk about what's happening. No information from the state government yet, but from locals, as far as they know, no casualty has been recorded because, like I said earlier, they don't have access to the exact location where the bomb dropped. But some locals said there's panic and fear among residents in the community, and this is as far as I can confirm from the locals we've spoken with, and we are still trying to get access to the community to get there by ourselves so that we can bring information to Nigeria about what is happening exactly. Earlier on, I spoke with somebody in the community, and who says, as far as they're concerned, the bomb did not drop in a residential area, but there are bushes or forests, if I will use that word, connecting that part to some part of Zamfara and Kebbi state, because that route would take you to even Maga, where those school girls were adopted in Kebbi. There's a particular route called Kanjiji, where Jabo is located. Jabo is located in Tambua local government, a community that is also close to communities in Shagari local government. And Jabo has been relatively peaceful. It was not part of communities that are experiencing bandit attack, and this is why the airstrike came as a surprise to many. But then you never can tell what the activities of terrorists are. You never can tell if they are taking advantage of the forests and bushes to carry out the operation. Those security experts who do this have intelligence before they carry out this strike. But community members, locals says no casualty recorded so far. So we are just trying to have permission or access so that we can go to the community ourselves to talk to people and to see for ourselves what exactly is happening. The last time I heard of an attack in Jabo was in 2018 when some terrorists visited that community with evil, killing and also adopting some locals. But so far so good with this very US bombing, and nothing, no casualty has been recorded from information we're getting from locals. We have made an attempt to talk to state government officials, but they are not really forthcoming. Probably they want to put their act together before they communicate, so that they will not be communicating error. They need to get full grasp of what has happened in that community. More so that community, that is in Sokoto South Senatorial District, has been relatively peaceful, except for communities in Shagari and in Chekele, and also Tureta, which is part of the Sokoto South Senatorial District, and a bit far from Jabo, where this bomb dropped by the United States jet.
All right. Okay, thank you so much for your time with us this morning today, man. I know that as more information emerges, we'll have the opportunity to speak to you with regards to what's happening on the ground and to get a bit of updates with regards to the situation in Sokoto State. But let's come back to the studio now. Dr. Ababti, your take on the stories this morning, of course, very importantly, the airstrike in Sokoto State.
Okay, I've had a lot of puerile responses, completely childish, if I may say asinine, and Nigerians should know that this is like the outcome of the diplomacy between those two countries. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu set up a Nigerian working group. Delegations from the US came here. Delegations from Nigeria went to the United States. The simple common sense is that there will be an outcome in that regard following President Trump's declaration, October 31 and in November, that he will come guns a-blazing to Nigeria to come and protect Christians and to prevent Nigeria becoming a hub for radical Islam. Now, the outcome of all those deliberations is simply the emphasis on the collaboration between the two countries. Each extent, they call him Defense Secretary, they call him War Secretary, made the point in the last paragraph of his statement that he appreciates the fact that this was done in cooperation with the Nigerian authorities. So that means that whatever was done in the Northwest, that Nigeria was fully apprised of it, and that Nigeria was fully involved in terms of the details. So for people to now say sovereignty, no, that's asinine, because there is a scope in international law for cooperation. And the Nigerian government, when all of this drama started in October, made it clear that Nigeria was willing to have cooperation with the United States on the issue of dealing with international terrorism, in case we have forgotten. And that was what led to those meetings and all of that. So the Nigerian government is involved in this. But President Trump characteristically has issued a statement on Truth Social to say, oh, he's defending Christians in Nigeria. The basic point is about cooperation between two countries to challenge international terrorism. There's a sideline to that. Now, you recall that in 2014, I was there. I was in the scene. We went to the United States. We bought some equipment from the United States to have a lethal weaponry attack on the Boko Haram cells in northern in the places where we had the problem. Now, the same United States now gave us conditions. They said Nigeria was abusing human rights under the Lee Act and all of that. We ended up going to the International Criminal Court to defend Nigeria. I think it was Adoke, Mohammed Bello Adoke, then Attorney General, who had to go there to say, no, this is not true. But even then, we were not allowed by the United States to use equipment that we had bought. Now we went to Israel. I'm not telling you stories. This is not from Google. I was in the room. We were in the office of this same Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. From his office, we went to his conference room, which is smaller than this studio, by the way. So that's an aside. And he said, look, I will give you arms and ammunition to fight Boko Haram. But the same US blocked Israel from giving us arms and ammunition. So I think the interesting thing now is that today, with the Tinubu administration, Nigeria is now collaborating with the United States. The same United States is now coming here to come and use the same equipment they said we could not use. So that is the subtext of it. And I think the people also, the second stupid argument that I've had, the people saying, oh, why Northwest? After all, what we heard is that Northwest is a theater for bandits, not for terrorists. Look, there's a book called, there are books generally, in fact, on how Boko Haram operates, on how terrorist cells, ISIS, ISWAP, whatever they are, how they operate. It does not mean that if you have an attack in a particular location, that it means that's where the cell is. There could be cells in Sokoto, operating in the North Central, operating in the Northeast. What is intelligence all about? Anybody can just look for a book titled Intelligence. So you can, that one, at least the title of the book that I have read, among others, is Intelligence. You know, it doesn't mean that ISIS will wait somewhere, they will operate there and wait for you to come and attack them there. So it's just the reality, and the Americans have said, we have the intelligence, we have mapped the region. So if you think you can hide in the Northwest and operate in the Middle Belt and the Northeast and elsewhere, we will come after you. The third point that I think needs to be made is that this is just the beginning. And I think that President Trump made that very clear in the last half of his statement, after wishing the terrorists that died happy Merry Christmas, and also other persons, Merry Christmas. He says, if the ISIS operatives in Nigeria do not stop, the assault on them will continue. So Nigeria is entering a new phase. So you have seen the Merry Christmas from Donald Trump yesterday, Christmas Day, in the Northwest. We could get other messages from other parts of the country. The concern will be, what would this have for, the unity of Nigeria, the structure of Nigeria? Because I can tell you, before now, even when the Nigerian government successively had the equipment, they could not strike for religious and political sentiments. People in certain parts of the country would readily have said, oh, it's Tinubu that is attacking northern Nigeria. Now it's not Tinubu attacking northern Nigeria. There is an international dimension to it. So are they going to blame Trump when Trump already made clear his obvious intentions? So this is not something that can even be politicized. Because, well, you think? Well,
it has started already. No. It has already been politicized.
No, I'm making an affirmative statement. Ignorant people, mischievous people, we always play politics with everything. But the thing is that there is an international dimension to the issue of terrorism. And, the US and Nigeria acting under international law cannot be blamed in that regard. Now, the next level of the analysis is geopolitics. Now that America has an inroad into Nigeria. Nigeria borders Niger, I think Cameroon, is also next to us. It's also a signal, a very strong signal about terrorist activity in the whole of West Africa, that the United States will not hesitate. They've cooperated, they've worked in Nigeria. So if you find any problem in other parts, AFRICOM is already now better established in the West African region than it was, like say 10 years ago. So they will not hesitate using Nigeria as a starting platform and as justification to move in the other country. Now, what will now be the long-term implications? We cannot predict that. Finally, on the issue of casualties, even AFRICOM admitted that we have not, they've not given any figure as to casualties. But the casualties, when the figure comes, when the specific locations are given, then what we have to worry about is the domestic reaction in Nigeria. Those who will play politics, those who will go on social media and say, oh, the Nigerian government is handing over to the United States. But the final point is that is the involvement. We will still also get to know that in due course of our Nigerian armed forces. Now they have strong support, and I don't think any patriotic Nigerian will say that it is not a good thing to attack terrorists and to make this country safe for everybody, whether Christian or animist or Muslim, as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu reiterated in his Christmas Day message.